You ever look at that spare room or maybe an empty property and just think, what if that space could actually be making me some money? Well, if you have, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to turn that little thought into a reality. This is your complete step-by-step guide to becoming an Airbnb host. So, here's what we've got on tap. We're going to kick things off with the big picture opportunity, then walk through a super practical guide for creating your very first listing. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how the money works, break down the AirCover protection plan so it's crystal clear, and then you'll be all set to start your own hosting journey. All right, let's jump right in. At its heart, hosting on Airbnb is all about turning that extra space you have into a real source of income. And what's really cool is you get to connect with travelers from all over the world while you do it. I mean, it's a simple question, right? But it's a really powerful one. Think about it. Whether it's just a spare room, a guest house out back, or maybe your whole home when you're on vacation, that unused space has some serious financial potential. It's not just about property. It's really about opportunity. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. It's the real deal for people like Superhost Elise down in Atlanta. For her, hosting her tiny house wasn't just about making extra cash. It was actually a creative outlet that let her pay off the house at the same time. I mean, what a perfect example of how hosting can line up with both your personal and your financial goals. Okay, so you're thinking, this sounds pretty good, but where do you even start? Well, that's what's next. Let's get into the practical playbook, step by step. This is your guide to getting that first listing up and running, ready for your first guests. It really just boils down to three main steps. First, you get your space ready for guests. Second, you create a listing online that just makes people want to click book. And third, you figure out the logistics. Your calendar, your pricing, all that stuff. And don't worry, we're going to break down each one. Okay, think of your listing like your online storefront. It's your one shot to make an amazing first impression. So let's talk about what makes one great. First up, high-quality photos. This is totally non-negotiable because it's the first thing anyone sees. Use natural light. Try to capture the vibe of the space, not just, a picture of a couch. Then there's your title and description. You got to tell a little story. Instead of just nice one-bed apt, how about something like cozy sun-drenched getaway near downtown? See the difference? It just feels better. And list every single amenity. I'm serious. Small things like a great coffee maker or super fast Wi-Fi can be the thing that seals the deal. And finally, house rules. Be crystal clear. This isn't about being strict. It's about making sure you get the right guests for your space and avoiding any headaches later on. Oh, I love this quote from Superhost Jake because it really gets to the heart of it all. Don't be afraid to let your personality shine through in your listing. You got a cool collection of vintage movie posters or maybe some awesome art books? Show them off. That authenticity is what connects with people and makes them choose your place. And this is a really important point, especially if you're worried about losing control. Let me be clear. You are the boss. You decide your calendar, you set your price, and you make the rules. It's that simple. If you only want to host once a year, great. If you want to host every weekend, you can do that too. The power is completely in your hands. All right, your space is prepped, your listing is live. Now for the question that's probably on everyone's mind. How does the money work? Let's get into it. The fees, some pricing tips, and exactly when you can expect to see that money hit your account. So the fee structure is actually pretty simple. For most people hosting, a room or their home, you'll be on what's called the split fee model. It's super straightforward. A small 3% fee is just taken out of your payout. The guest pays their own fee separately. Now, there's also a host-only fee, but that's way less common. It's mostly for hotels or bigger operations where the host decides to cover the whole fee, which is usually around 14 to 16%. Now, this is a fantastic piece of advice from Superhost Star, so listen up. When you're brand new, you don't have any reviews yet, right? So pricing your place competitively, maybe even a little on the low side, is a great way to get those first few crucial bookings in the door. Then, once you've got a few great reviews under your belt, you can start to adjust your price up to where it should be. So, when do you actually get your money? This timeline makes it super clear. The moment your guest checks in, the clock starts. About 24 hours later, Airbnb releases your payment. Now, how fast it lands in your bank account just depends on the payout method you picked, but it's usually somewhere between 1 and 7 business days. The key takeaway here, you get paid right at the beginning of the stay. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? What happens if something goes wrong? This is where AirCover for hosts comes in, and it's a huge deal.
Just think of it as your built-in safety net. And the best part? It's included for free for all hosts.
Let's just start with the big headline number because it's pretty impressive. We're talking up to $3 million in host damage protection. I mean, that is some serious peace of mind, covering your home and your things from accidental damage by a guest. But AirCover is way more than just damage protection. It's really built on these 5 pillars. It actually starts before a guest even books, with things like guest ID verification and special screening tech that helps block risky reservations. Then you've got that $3 million in damage protection we talked about, plus $1 million in liability insurance just in case someone gets hurt. And on top of all that, there's a 24-hour safety line. It's a complete top-to-bottom protection plan. And let's get a little more specific here because the details are what give you real peace of mind. This damage protection isn't just for, a broken lamp. It covers things like art and valuables. It even covers parked cars and boats. Pet damage, yep, that's covered. What if you lose income because you have to cancel bookings for repairs? That's covered too. Even deep cleaning costs for tough stuff like stains or smoke. It's really comprehensive. And hey, if you ever do need to use it, the process is designed to be super simple. First, you just submit a request to the guest in the Resolution Center. If they don't take care of it within 24 hours, no problem, you can just involve Airbnb and they'll step in to handle it under the AirCover protection plan. Okay, so we've covered the big opportunity, the practical steps to get started, how the money works, and the protection that has your back. Now, let's just bring it all together as you get ready to kick off your own hosting journey. Because really, it's about so much more than just a transaction. It's about sharing a part of your world. This quote from Superhost Ambassador Magali, it just sums it up perfectly. Every single host and every single space is unique. You do not need a mansion or some fancy designer apartment. Honestly, whether your space is quirky or super cozy or minimalist or rustic, I promise you, there is a guest out there looking for exactly what you have to offer. And that really brings us to the final thought here. You've learned the how and the what. You know your space is protected. So the only question left is, well, it's the most exciting one. Your space is ready. Who are you going to share it with?